Have you ever experienced that subtle but undeniable feeling that your mind doesn't quite operate on the same frequency as the people around you? While others might rush to react to whatever is happening in the moment, guided by impulse or emotion, you instinctively pause, step back, and begin to examine the bigger picture. Your thoughts naturally stretch beyond the immediate, tracing patterns that connect past, present, and future. You notice the undercurrents in the conversation, the small shifts in tone, the hidden motives behind actions. Where others see only the surface, you perceive the structure beneath it, the unspoken truths and the logic holding it all together. If this sounds familiar, understand this. You are not flawed, disconnected, or too much in your head. You are simply operating with a different mental architecture, one designed for depth, precision, and independence. This is the heart of what defines the Sigma male. He is not a man who bends to society's mold, nor does he rebel for the sake of rebellion. Instead, he walks a separate path because his mind is naturally attuned to think critically, to move with quiet certainty, and to value truth over conformity. The Sigma male doesn't chase applause or seek validation from the crowd. His confidence comes from within, a calm, grounded assurance that doesn't waver when challenged. He thrives in stillness, makes decisions with calculated clarity, and remains composed even in the midst of chaos. Unlike the alpha male, who draws strength from commanding authority and dominating social hierarchies, or the beta male, who finds comfort in acceptance and group belonging, the Sigma male chooses an entirely different route. He stands apart from these labels, not as a leader demanding followers, nor as a follower seeking guidance, but as an independent force. He is a strategic observer, the quiet tactician who moves deliberately through life. Every action is purposeful, every choice measured, and every step taken with foresight rather than impulse. In the following exploration, we will break down the 12 defining traits that shape the Sigma male mind. We'll look at why he thinks the way he does, how he interprets and responds to the world around him, and what gives him his distinctive power in a society that so often misreads his silence for indifference and his independence for isolation. Through this deeper lens, you'll see that the Sigma male isn't just different, he's operating on an entirely different playing field. 1. The Sigma male's brain automatically simulates worst-case scenarios, the relentless mental training of a prepared mind. One of the most defining features of the Sigma male's psyche is his remarkable ability to stay composed when life spirals into chaos. While others may freeze in panic or make rash decisions under pressure, he moves with deliberate precision. This calmness is not the result of being cold or detached. It's the product of countless mental drills that play out in his mind long before real-life events unfold. For him, every possibility, every variable, and every danger is quietly mapped in the background. When others are caught off guard, he's already thought through the worst and has a contingency plan ready. How this plays out in real life. Take something as simple as a road trip. Most people will toss clothes into a bag, grab some snacks, and start driving without much thought. The Sigma male, however, has already envisioned multiple outcomes, both good and bad. He's imagined a flat tire that could strand him in an isolated area, the engine that might fail in harsh weather, and a friend who could cancel plans at the last minute. The same foresight applies to business. While many entrepreneurs focus solely on achieving success, the Sigma male's mind is already prepared for market crashes, sudden betrayals from trusted partners, and legal loopholes that could unexpectedly turn against him. Even in relationships, his perspective is grounded in realism. He understands that trust can fade, people can withdraw emotionally, and deception can creep in without warning. The power of mental preparedness. This mindset is not fueled by paranoia. It's powered by strategic foresight. He doesn't spend time drowning in fear. Instead, he neutralizes it by being ready for whatever may come. His composure in tense situations is not an accident, nor is it a genetic gift. It's a product of relentless mental conditioning, a discipline that ensures he remains steady while others fall apart. 2. He doesn't just think differently, he rewires himself. The art of self-engineering. Where most people reflect on their mistakes and then simply move forward, the Sigma male takes a far more methodical approach. He doesn't see his current habits, emotional tendencies, or mental patterns as fixed parts of his identity. If something is holding him back, he doesn't accept it. He dismantles it, studies it, and rebuilds it from the ground up. This is not just self-improvement. It's self-reconstruction. The process of self-reconstruction. The first step is identifying triggers. If he finds himself overreacting to criticism, he doesn't just tell himself to be less sensitive. Instead, he interrogates the reaction. Why did this specific comment get under my skin? What past experience does it connect to? How can I detach my present self from this old wound? Through this introspection, he uncovers the root cause and neutralizes its power over him. Then comes isolation, a deliberate retreat from social noise. He steps away not to escape reality, but to fine-tune his mindset in solitude. When he reemerges, his emotional responses are sharper, his mental clarity more refined. Brutal self-honesty is the final stage. He refuses to defend his flaws or make excuses for his weaknesses. Instead, he cuts them out like a surgeon removing a tumor, making space for a stronger version of himself to grow. The result, a mind that evolves continuously. While most people remain trapped in the same mental loop for years, repeating the same mistakes, the Sigma male's mind is in constant evolution. He doesn't merely adapt to life's changes. He reinvents himself entirely, often to the point where his present self will be unrecognizable to the man he once was. 3. Empathy with a lock mechanism. Compassion without surrender. To most people, empathy is an open door. Anyone's pain can enter freely, no matter the cost of their own well-being. But the Sigma male operates differently. He feels emotions deeply, yet he does not grant unrestricted access to his inner world. His empathy comes with a safeguard, a lock mechanism that filters who gets close and how much of himself he gives away. How his empathy functions. When a friend confides in him, he listens intently and understands the depth of their pain. But he doesn't allow that pain to seep into his own mental state or destabilize his focus. He sets firm boundaries in emotional labor, helping others without becoming their emotional sponge. He is quick to detect when genuine sadness shifts into subtle emotional manipulation, and when that happens, he quietly refuses to be drawn into the game. His compassion is real, but his peace remains intact. The lock mechanism. This emotional filter ensures that not everyone can access his vulnerability. It's not that he's cold. It's that he knows unguarded empathy can drain a person's energy, leaving them powerless. Why this makes him dangerous in a good way. This balance of deep care and self-protection makes him a rare force. In a world that often equates empathy with self-sacrifice, the Sigma male's version of compassion is rooted in strength. He can stand beside someone in their darkest hour without being pulled into their darkness. And that, in its own quiet way, is one of his greatest powers. 4. His thinking process isn't linear. It's layered like quantum loops, multidimensional analysis in real time. Most people approach problem solving and decision-making like following a straight road. They move from A to B to C in a simple, predictable sequence. The Sigma male's thought process, however, is nothing like that. His mind works in overlapping layers, almost like quantum loops, where multiple scenarios, perspectives, and timelines are being analyzed simultaneously. He doesn't just process one thought and then move to the next. He holds several interconnected considerations in his head at once, letting them interact until the most strategic conclusion emerges. Take, for instance, something as ordinary as evaluating a job offer. On the surface, he will assess what most people look at first: salary, benefits, and job title. But beneath that, there's an entire set of hidden layers unfolding in his mind. He's quietly examining the company's true culture beyond the glossy brochure image, analyzing the CEO's real leadership style, rather than the persona presented in interviews, and forecasting how this role might impact his mental health 5 years down the line. He'll even recall past experiences, both successes and mistakes, that subtly mirror this opportunity, weighing how history might repeat itself. The advantage of layered thinking. To outsiders, his final decision may seem like it came in a flash, a sharp, almost instinctive yes or no. But in reality, that answer is the product of silent, complex mental calculations that have been running in the background the entire time. His layered thinking doesn't just make him thorough. It gives him an almost unfair advantage in seeing both the visible and invisible consequences of his choices. 5. He gains clarity through solitude, not advice. The power of inner dialogue over external noise. While most people seek out the opinions of friends, family, or even strangers online before making important choices, the Sigma male takes an entirely different approach. Instead of inviting more voices into his mind, he retreats into solitude. For him, clarity is born in silence, not in the chaos of competing perspectives. It's in that quiet space that his thoughts settle into order, free from the distortion of external bias. Why he trusts himself more than outside opinions. He understands that even well-meaning advice is never truly neutral. People often project their fears, limitations, or insecurities onto the guidance they give. A friend might discourage him from taking a risk not because of the bad idea, but because they themselves fear uncertainty. On top of that, his mind operates on a unique rhythm and depth that others simply can't match. So syncing his decisions to their thought patterns would feel unnatural. The solitude strategy. When facing a major turning point, whether walking away from a relationship, starting a business, or changing his life's direction, he disappears for a while. This isn't avoidance. It's deliberate isolation to weigh every angle without the interference of emotional noise. When he returns, he's not just leaning toward a choice. He's anchored in it, unshakably certain. Advice isn't something he needs. At most, he considers it briefly, but the final decision is always and only his own. 6. His curiosity isn't cute, it's forensic. The art of strategic questioning. Most people ask questions out of politeness, to keep a conversation flowing, or to appear interested. The Sigma male's curiosity, however, is far from casual. It's calculated, precise, and often investigative. When he asks a question, it's not for small talk. It's to uncover truth, gather information, and understand the inner workings of people and situations. How his mind works in conversations. He won't settle for generic prompts like, "How was your day?" Instead, he'll ask something far more revealing, like, "What's a recurring problem you haven't solved yet?" Such a question forces a person to reveal patterns in their life, patterns that he listens to very closely, and he's a master at spotting inconsistencies. If someone claims to hate drama but spends most of their time talking about conflict, he mentally notes the contradiction. These details aren't forgotten. They're filed away like evidence, part of a larger profile he's building about the person. For him, questions are not casual exchanges. They're data collection. With each interaction, he's reverse engineering personalities, motivations, and behavioral habits, ensuring that he can predict someone's likely actions in the future. The result? He's extremely difficult to deceive or manipulate because he's already mapped the truth behind people's words. While others take statements at face value, he sees the patterns, the contradictions, and the hidden intentions. And once he's seen them, there's no way to pretend they don't exist. 7. He doesn't memorize rules. He reverse engineers them. The system hacker mentality. Where most people follow rules simply because they exist, the Sigma male takes an entirely different approach. He does not accept a rule as truth until he understands the logic or lack thereof behind it. His first instinct is not to comply blindly, but to dissect it, to understand its origin, its purpose, and the power dynamics it serves. For him, rules are not sacred. They are structures created by people, and anything created by people can be examined, improved, or even bypassed without chaos. Examples of rule reverse engineering. In the workplace, while the majority of employees march in line with corporate policies, the Sigma male studies the deeper reality, who truly holds influence, what unwritten rules govern success, and where the loopholes lie. He doesn't break the rules outright. Instead, he redefines them in ways that allow him to move faster and more effectively. In society at large, traditions and social norms are never taken at face value. He quietly asks, who actually benefits from this custom? What would happen if I ignored it? Is this practice genuinely valuable or just a relic of habit? These questions aren't just philosophical, they're tactical, shaping the way he interacts with the world. Why this makes him unstoppable? His goal is not rebellion for its own sake. Instead, he modifies systems so they work in his favor. While others remain bound by the invisible walls around them, he's already discovered the hidden exits. This ability to reverse engineer life's rules turns him into a quiet strategist who consistently finds advantages where others see only restrictions. 8. His ambition doesn't scream. It observes, plans, and executes in silence. The chess player mentality. Many people feel compelled to announce their dreams, goals, and ambitions to anyone who will listen, often believing that speaking them out loud somehow makes them more real. The Sigma male, however, understands that the loudest declarations are often the weakest strategies. His ambition is quiet, precise, and calculated, more like a chess player moving pieces without announcing his next play. How silent ambition works. In business, while others flood social media with motivational quotes or declarations about the grind, he's already running experiments, testing market responses, and building the foundations of success in private. In self-improvement, he doesn't proclaim that he's going to change. He simply changes. He doesn't need an audience to witness his progress because his focus is entirely on results, not recognition. The takeaway: by the time others become aware of what he's been working on, it's already complete. He doesn't waste time convincing people he's going to win. He shows them after the fact, when it's too late for anyone to compete. His silence is not passivity. It's the camouflage that protects his moves until victory is inevitable. 9. His self-worth isn't stored in approval. It's in his ability to stay unshaken. The anchored mindset. For most people, self-worth is fragile, tied to the ebb and flow of external opinions. A single harsh comment, a cold rejection, or a moment of public embarrassment can send them spiraling into self-doubt. The Sigma male operates on a different foundation entirely. His value is not dictated by the applause or criticism of others. It's rooted in his ability to remain steady, regardless of the storm around him. How this manifests. In conflict, while tempers flare and emotions run wild, he remains grounded. His calm is not indifference, it's discipline. In rejection, he does not chase after lost opportunities or plead for acceptance. Instead, he reaffirms his own standards, reminding himself that his worth existed before anyone else noticed it, and it will continue to exist without their approval. The core truth: his confidence is not borrowed from others. It's self-built, forged through trial, error, and persistence. Because it is internally generated, it cannot be taken away. This is what makes him resilient. Criticism may brush against him, but it never penetrates deeply enough to shake his sense of who he is. 10. He's allergic to herd thinking. The independent mind. The Sigma male is fundamentally incapable of following the crowd without first putting the idea through a rigorous filter of reason and logic. His mind doesn't just accept a belief, rule, or plan because everyone else does. It demands proof, coherence, and purpose before he gives it his endorsement. To him, mindless conformity is a dangerous habit that dulls intelligence and erodes individuality. Examples. In meetings, if a proposal is flawed, he won't sit silently just to maintain the illusion of agreement. His decision to speak up is not driven by ego or rebellion, but by integrity. Remaining silent when he sees a mistake feels like lying by omission. In broader culture, he challenges traditions and social trends not as a performative act of being different, but because his mind refuses to give free passes to ideas that don't make sense. The result? This refusal to conform gives him an edge that others don't have. He spots manipulation before it takes hold, senses when leadership is weak, and identifies flawed strategies long before they lead to collapse. By thinking independently, he avoids being swept into the mistakes of the majority. 11. His instincts are tuned to what's not being said. The human lie detector. For the Sigma male, silence is never empty. It's loaded with meaning. He has a heightened sensitivity to the gaps between words, the subtle shifts in tone, and the body language that contradicts what's being spoken. While others focus on what's said aloud, he pays even closer attention to what is left unsaid. How this works. When someone lies, they often stumble not in their words, but in the rhythm of their delivery. The slight pause before answering, the sudden change in vocal pitch, the tightening of the jaw. The Sigma male notices these cues instinctively. Similarly, when betrayal is brewing, he senses a withdrawal long before it's verbalized. The messages that come less frequently, the warmth that fades, the shift in priorities. Why this matters? This skill ensures that he's rarely blindsided. While others may be caught off guard by sudden changes in relationships, business partnerships, or alliances, he sees the warning signs early and adjusts his position accordingly. It's not paranoia. It's awareness sharpened by experience. 12. His loyalty isn't emotional, it's intellectual. Loyalty based on logic, not obligation. For the Sigma male, loyalty is not a blind, unshakable commitment handed out once and kept forever, regardless of circumstances. Instead, it's a rational, ongoing agreement that remains intact only as long as the alignment between him and the other person or cause continues to make sense. His loyalty is deliberate, not default. How he evaluates loyalty. In friendships, if values and core principles start to drift apart, he doesn't cling to the bond out of nostalgia. He steps back, quietly and without resentment. In business, if integrity is compromised or ethical lines are crossed, he will walk away without making a scene. His question is always the same. Does this still make sense? If the answer is no, he moves on, leaving emotional guilt and societal expectation behind. The Sigma male's loyalty test. Because his loyalty is tied to reason rather than blind obligation, is incredibly strong when earned but impossible to exploit. Those who have his trust know it's because he has chosen, consciously and fully, to give it, not because he feels pressured to. Final words. The unstoppable Sigma mind. The Sigma male's way of thinking isn't about being different for its own sake. It's about being deliberate in a world addicted to shortcuts, noise, and surface-level thinking. He is engineered for depth in a shallow environment, designed to navigate complexity with clarity. Key takeaways. He thinks ahead, ensuring he's never caught off guard. He rewires his own mind instead of accepting limitations. His empathy has boundaries. He cares deeply but refuses to drown in other people's chaos. He sees what others miss because his thought process operates in multiple layers. He trusts solitude over crowds when making decisions. His questions are designed to reveal truth, not just fill silence. He studies and rewires rules instead of obeying them blindly. His ambition is quiet but lethal. His confidence is self-built and unshakable. He refuses to follow blindly. Truth is his compass. He hears the unsaid, making deception nearly impossible. His loyalty is conditional upon intellectual and ethical alignment, the Sigma male's ultimate strength. He doesn't waste energy explaining himself to those who can't understand. He simply lives his truth, letting his actions speak. If you find yourself resonating with these traits, you're not out of place. You're simply ahead of the curve. Do these ideas resonate with you? If you found yourself nodding along or reflecting deeply on the traits and experiences we explored in this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Sigma male mindset isn't often talked about openly in your perspective. Whether you identify with it personally or have encountered in others, adds valuable depth to the conversation. Drop a comment below and let me know which part hit home the most for you. Have you seen these traits in yourself or someone you know? Your insights help build a community where authenticity and growth are prioritized over popularity and performance. If you're drawn to this kind of introspective, no-nonsense content around Sigma males, psychological strength, emotional intelligence, and high-value living, there's more waiting for you. Explore the other videos on this channel for deeper dives, actionable insights, and raw truths that cut through the noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay grounded, and stay unapologetically real. Until next time.